Hello everybody, welcome to the channel, and this is the second review in a series of Fenix 6X Pro Solar versus the Fenix 5X. So thanks for some of the comments that you had on the last video, so I'm going to try and answer some of those and also give you a bit more feedback from the last 24 hours. So weight and size. The 6X is definitely a lot lighter. I mean, statistically it is, and it's, if we look here just on the stats here from the two, it is 98 grams versus 82. So, and you can tell the difference on the wrist. It definitely does feel a lot lighter. It's a lot more comfortable to wear. Sleeping with it at night, you know, my 5X sometimes it kind of used to disturb my sleep because, you know, kind of dig into my arm a little bit. If you notice here, just where the strap clasp is on there, if I kind of zoom over the top, you can see that that has been made subtly smaller and sort of a little bit more sort of rounded off, so they're taking off the edge there. But also, if you notice, the buttons as well on the old 5X protrude out slightly more than the 6X, so they've and it's only millimeters all over, but it just, all that tiny sort of little bit of detail is definitely helping out. It's a lot nicer to wear, a lot more comfortable. The shape, the profile shape, is different on the back of the old 5X to the 6, so this is a larger, flatter area. It just sits more comfortable on the wrist. So size and weight wise is yeah, it's nice. It wasn't something that I was really considering when purchasing the 6X, but that's definitely a big win for the 6X. So the other questions is about the display, and somebody asked about the contrast. Now, as you can see here, just if I just put that over the top of where that one is and then sort of move that one to the side there, can you see how much this one is reflecting everything off the ceiling? And this is not. So it's a different type of glass that's on here, and there's definitely a huge advantage on the 6X. It is like night and day. This is far clearer than the old 5X. You're going to see a massive improvement. If you can just see when I move that backwards and forwards, you can hardly see any reflections coming off there. I'll move it over here as well, so it's in the same place. That one over there, just see how much more that is reflecting everything. So when you're outside, that just reflects the sky and everything, so it's really difficult to see. I hardly ever not that I've had it very long, but I hardly ever press the backlight on this 6X now, because the contrast is so good on it. You just don't really need to, so that just helps with the battery, that you're not having to just wake it up and sort of have the backlight come on. Yeah, that's fantastic. There's a big difference. So yeah, contrast is really good. Display size 36% more than the old 5X. It's, you know, really nice to have just that extra real estate there that you can put more information on. I think now in the metrics data, when you're running, you can have 8 fields as opposed to 6. It's just, you've just got more space. The graphics that they've put into the new 6X as well on a lot of the widgets, they're just really nice. You can see they've just made them look a little bit nicer. If it just go to something like just something as simple like the compass, as compared to, let's just put the old one up. It's just, there's just more detail in there because you've just got that extra screen space. You can see that reflection coming off there, it's terrible. Yeah, so really nice having that extra screen size. The resolution, I think, it's gone up from 260 by 260 to 280 by 280. However, pixel density is actually dropped a little bit because of the screen size. However, you really can't tell. Let's try and get it to focus if we can. Try and get it to focus close up. You can't really see those pixels. You know, it's not really that bad with the sort of jaggy edges. It's got some really fine text. So the old 5X is probably a little bit sharper, but because the screen was smaller. But it's just not an issue at all. The display looks really nice. So the other question that I had was about the solar part of the watch. So let's just go back out into the main display on this. Okay, so if you just use the default watch clock face, you can see here it's got this little dial, and there's divided up into 10 digits, so it gives you 10%, and then it gives you an overall time. You can go into the widgets as well and see the solar activity, but you can't zoom that in and out, not that I've found anyway, so you're only getting it over the last 6 hours. So Garmin is stating that that on the kind of default mode you'll get 21 days of battery use on the watch, and with the additional solar you get another 3 days. Now that is being stated that if, as long as it's in direct sunlight for a minimum of 3 hours a day. So if you do the calculations, it's 1 hour a day in direct sunlight over 21 days gives you an extra day. So if you were to manage to spend 6 hours in daylight in direct light, and that would be in like this optimal sun, I would imagine, you might get an extra 6 days. So I've been outside when it's direct sunlight and blue sky, and the dial goes up to 100%. It just immediately bangs up to 100%. Now this only updates once every minute as well, so obviously to save battery, that it's not constantly updating the display. It's gone cloudy this afternoon, and that dropped to about 40%, but that was when I was holding the watch directly up to the sky. Now I turned the watch sideways on, and it dropped to about 10%. So if you got your arm down by your side, you can expect on a cloudy day anywhere between 10 maybe 20%, I would imagine, and it's only if you kind of like sat there with your wrist facing upwards that you're going to get 40% on a cloudy day. So I think the solar part of it, really, you got to think about how much time you actually spend outside. Obviously this is going to help if you're going to be out trekking all day long. It's going to give you a boost, but for your normal day-to-day, well, it really does depend on how much time you spend outside. If you're outdoor education instructor and you're outdoors every day, all day, then yeah, great. But I think for the average Joe, it's not going to massively increase the amount of battery power that you're getting out of this thing. Somebody also asked as well, are you getting any power from inside? Now you can see at the moment that is registering virtually zero. It's not even at 10%. I am sat next to a window there, and okay, it's a little bit cloudy, but unless I direct that to the sun, or like direct it to the window, I'm getting no charge. I put it up against a light as well to see if it'd have any effect, and I had to pick a fairly bright LED indoor light and held it probably about I don't know, about 10 centimeters away, maybe less, and I think I got about 10% charging on it. When I moved it further away, a more realistic sort of half a meter away, it didn't charge at all. So indoor charging, I would say no, unless anybody else has got any more experience. Possibly it depends on the light source as well, whether it's LED or what type of bulb that it is. Light spectrum and all that could have a big difference, but yeah, from what I've discovered so far, not particularly good at charging indoors. And you've got to remember, this is a very small amount of area which has got the solar panel in it, although there is some under the whole of the display. It's only that rim around the outside which is the sort of 100%. One last question from somebody who's asked about menu speed. Now, I never really had a problem with the 5X about menu speed at all. It seemed to flick through quite quickly. You do sometimes, like this one was, it depends who's developed these, like the third party sort of widgets on there, and when it wants to load up that IQ, there is a bit of a delay there, but that's possibly down to either the programming, but the watch is possibly a little bit slower. I haven't got any third-party apps at the moment. These are all the stock ones, and as you can see, they just scroll through like super fast, but they're all the sort of Garmin made up apps. That being said as well, when going on the App Store, there are not many apps for this, possibly because of the new resolution size, so it'll take time for those apps to come through, and then we can probably do more of a direct comparison between the two. So okay, thanks for watching this second video. I will post up some more as I find more stuff as I'm going through the watch, and if you've got any questions, then please just ask, and I'll either answer in the comments section or do another video for you all. Okay, thanks again for watching. Cheers, bye bye.